right, new soundboard and new life here at Call Me Audible. As it is a test drive, now a purchase of a new soundboard, the Pro FX.
The Mackie Pro FX 12
Yeah,
version
that's
3.
loud.
It's something in the contract here because essentially if we don't use the budget, I get to use it on gambling. Rob Campana, President, Commander-in-Chief, it doesn't support my gambling habits, so as such, we get new gear.
That's a good trade-off. Here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
But I'm a bit sad about it because would have bet the Lakers game tonight.
Yeah, no, let's hurry the show up, man. I don't miss the Lakers Blazers. I'll be stuck in traffic for like 4 hours.
I mean, I can put it on the screen for you guys.
Well, we have the draft lottery at 8:30 or 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
sure.
We need the draft
Big
lottery.
night.
Yeah, huge,
Big night.
Huge NBA nights. Huge week of week 3 and a few things to update on as Peeze, Eagle, and I will go over the week that was. And
I'm Peace.
that is Peeze.
You're Mo.
I am Mo.
That's Eagle.
Eagle, very disappointed by our intro.
No, not at all, actually.
Remember the season that there was like some Rob corporate mandate where we had to like introduce ourselves each week?
That wasn't a corporate mandate. That was a me mandate, trying to make sure that everyone who tuned in for the first time knew who the hell
Even
you
though
guys
our
were.
names-
Corporate mandate.
Even though our names are on the screen.
Also, why would anybody care who we are as long as we're talking about them?
I don't want people to know who I am. That's the whole point, right?
The radio personality doesn't want people to know
we
who
know
he
who I am.
is.
But it's funny though because Mo's like actually no, not even. Nobody uses their actual name
No.
because Mo's not your actual name, right?
No, exactly. So we're perfect.
Yeah.
But you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Grindr, all the good places.
Grinder, yeah.
I'm always on Grindr. I don't stop grinding.
Grindr.
Always on my grind, so to speak.
Bumble,
Yeah.
you know.
But
What's the other one? Tinder, yeah.
Okay,
Tinder.
Cupid,
Yeah.
Plenty of Fish.
J-Date.
Yeah, J-Dates.
I don't even want to know what the J stands
Have you
for.
FarmersOnly.com.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good
You don't have to be alone with FarmersOnly.com.
What was the? Is it ducks.com?
Yeah, the ducks.org.
Have you guys watched that Netflix show, the Indian?
Yeah, I watched. It's awesome.
It's
It's awesome.
so embarrassing.
It's so good. I feel I
so
cringe
embarrassing.
for you, Mo.
And it's not
I
for me though.
cringe.
I don't fall for this.
I
stuff.
understand, but like just like that's what's on display of your culture.
It is
Is-
so bad. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like-
it's pretty bad.
I looked at it. I'm like, my God, man. I feel bad for these kids. They're programmed to be like their parents.
Natalia and I were like we started watching like okay this looks terrible and then we couldn't stop. We couldn't
I know.
stop watching
I
it.
know it's bad. It's so bad, the South Asian culture. Anyway, I can't badmouth the South Asian culture. It's my people.
Well, it's the worst example of it, right? Like just like Jersey Shore is the worst example of Eagle and I's existence.
Tiger King's the worst example of Florida.
Oklahoma.
By the way, it
Oklahoma.
closed
Whatever,
down, eh?
Florida. It's the same thing.
Also, well, Carol Baskin's the worst example of Tampa.
But they closed it down now.
Yeah,
eh?
that's what it was.
yeah.
The Oklahoma spot.
Well,
they closed it.
because Carol
Rob
Baskin
Lowe?
took it over.
Yeah, but
But-
the other guy still had it though. They said this week on Twitter News that
He took all the assets and moved it to another one and then shut it down, probably defrauding the government in the process.
perhaps.
That being said, if you want to go on Cameo, you can get Carol Baskins to wish you whatever it is for $300.
300.
Can I pay her to say she killed her husband?
Maybe.
Can I pay her $300? I'll pay the $300.
I mean, it does say, what does a good request look like? And it says, tip number 1, try to be as specific as possible with your request. So,
Say, my request is, I'm Carol Baskin, and I killed my husband.
Or you can
Happy birthday, Moe Khan.
or I love my husband as a
Mm-hmm.
opposite trend that I actually killed him.
Or I killed my husband. I'm Carol Baskins. Congratulations on your engagement, Simone Dagenet.
2022, huh? Oh, that's
2022.
All right, we got
4 hours away, by the way, Mo. That's another party bus situation.
That's gonna be a party bus for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Justin's gonna be a party bus, I think.
Justin's gonna be party bus.
Justin Blanchard,
and Simone Dagenet as well.
That's just gonna be.
But let's get to some FPF action.
Yes, right. We'll talk about the party bus that was the FPF action. Now, week 3 in the books.
That's a professional transition.
Exactly. Just a heads up now, moving forward for the Laval Monday games. For now, no fans allowed, spectators allowed. It's a bit of a tight squeeze.
yeah, so the reason that we've been given is initially they cleared it for people to go in the stand, just like Brossard is.
Yep.
But then they reneged their clearance because they're using the facility for a day camp. And so the stands area is being used by the kids. So instead of having to like really do like a deep clean and potentially have more people in the area, they said, you know what, no fans at all and everything. So I understand it. Again, it's a weird scenario and everything. So hopefully we roll with the punches. Don't bring anyone to Laval, please. Mo's going to have to throw them out.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do that. Next, Peeze and Eagle bring their girlfriends. Hey, guys,
I
welcome
couldn't,
in.
I
Come
mean,
on.
I did it
pay
week
my
one.
wife enough to come to a game. Like once we got married, she's like, enough of this
All
shit.
right, put on the poll, please. Whose wife is more likely to show up to a Laval game? Eagles or Peeze?
Eagles,
Oh, I mean,
1,000%.
1,000%. She wanted cleats. We went to buy her cleats last week. She's gonna play one of these days. I'm convinced.
Oh boy.
Oh, can I recruit her? Because I think I can. She'll fit my system better than Buccaneers.
She would. Yeah.
So many drags for Megan.
I know.
No, she's got a great fade route too.
That's like a
Really?
recruiting.
Yeah.
That's like a recruiting tool, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
it's like
Yeah,
you're gonna get.
she
all
runs
balls.
marathons fast.
That's right. Free agent signing. That's how we look at it. So again, so Laval, no fans as of this Monday moving forward. So do not bring any fans. I will turn them away if you do. Unfortunately, even if it's a 5-year-old kid, turned away, sit in the car.
Mo, like low key, I'm super excited each week. I'm like really nervous and then super excited when you clear me to play because I'm like, oh, I don't have a fever.
No, thank
That's
God.
nice.
Yeah, well, sometimes there is that angst, but again, people, a big salute to the players and staff members who have come to me and have had their temperature checked out and had their hands sanitized coming in and leaving the facility. So that's
Although I'm blaming the sanitizer for dropping the first snap of the game. So
you could if you wish.
I do.
All right, so let's talk about the party bus of games. I know you didn't watch any, but you always ask around, Peezler. So what caught your attention in terms of the tier 1, 2, or 3, or even co-ed for that matter?
Bud Knights beat Goblin Gang. Bud Knights have a easy
Best
last
defense.
2 games sort of to close off the their schedule. I'm liking Marc-Andre Desaulniers as quarterback of Bud Knights. I think Matthew Kelchin just has to learn to be more patient, learn to drive the field. That's something Marc-Andre Desaulniers does well. And I think that Matthew Kelchin can look at this and be like, well, hey, this is what this team can do. They can perform consistently offensively because we know they have athletes, right? We don't have any doubt of that. And I think this is a good example. And Matthew Kelchin actually played in this game as a receiver.
I saw this game a bit. I'm a bit surprised. Goblin Gang throttled last week, and then this week they look very minute, I guess. And Marc-Andre Desaulniers, he is like a psycho wrestler. Like
Yes.
he just turns it on, you know? Like he's like Doink the Clown. He's happy, then he just turns it on, and he has this weird laugh after a completion. And he looked great. He looked fantastic in that football game. And this was a big win for the Bud Knights. They're 2-1 now. And this is the bad loss for Goblin Gang, I beg your pardon, because this is a team that I thought could have easily be 3-0. They have a lot of talent. I know Ben McMahon's playing receiver this year, and they got Drysdale as a quarterback. But this is going to probably be one of those things where you look at Goblin Gang, whatever round they end up in the next phase of games here, they might be the team you don't want to play at that point.
Absolutely. Eagle, as we're discussing this, think of 3 possible names that Marc-Andre could use as an 80s wrestling character.
80s wrestling.
Like
character.
what
Wow.
would his name be? Like I'm gonna lead the charge with biceps glasses.
Oh yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
But if you got anything, please feel free to toss them in. At any time
I'm not a
during the
good wrestling guy, so
And neither
let
am
me
I.
do
I-
some research, so we'll see.
show. All right.
Yeah, we'll figure it out though. A game that, well, like lockdown 3-0 is whatever. We talked about them ad nauseum here.
They're in the wrong division.
They are in the wrong division for sure. But let's go to tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
KGP champs hammering our boys, the Cons.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't the game that was 1
Oh, I thought we were gonna get into that when we get into the
Well, we will
script.
into topics. Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
I'm saying that
Can we talk about other games then?
We could. I'm saying that this caught my attention, which we'll talk
Yeah.
about here. But Consequence losing badly. But in terms of the tier 2 games that I saw over the week, I'll tell you one thing though, PZ. The games that really, really caught my attention, Pepperoni Boys beating Trojans 26-15.
That's not surprising.
No, but Joe Cano did not have a great game. And this was a closer affair because the Trojans really kept it close for the first half or so. So that kind of caught my attention because I thought the Pepperoni Boys would have blown these guys out by 30-plus points. That was not the case. Also, another game that really was fun to watch, Tough Lungs Voodoo.
I was just gonna bring that one up.
And that was fun. A good, close game here. We talked about it a little bit last week here. Justin Lerner, one of the best catches out there. You look at the Voodoo team, and even with Pat Amon doing what he did with 3 touchdown grabs, this was going back and forth, and this was one of those fun games where you were on the edge of your seat because you just didn't know who to come up big with the last possession in their hand.
So Frank K finally gets the offense rolling, and then the defense lets him down, which is frustrating for him, I'm sure. But the 2 interceptions doesn't really that shows that this game could have easily gone Voodoo's way if he just protects the ball a little bit better. Look, we know what they do when Frank is quarterback. Pat Saint-Amand gets the bulk of the looks. I'd like to see guys like Kevin Marshall and Etienne Vaillancourt really become threats to help stretch the field. They've kind of become guys who just get a lot of yaks in this offense. Yeah. And anytime there's something over the middle, it's Pat Saint-Amand using his big body to create space. But I'd like to see some more vertical game from them. Frank Hayes still got some juice left in that arm, so air it out to guys like Kevin and Etienne. They're so fast. You have so much speed there.
You really do. And another game that caught my attention was the Texas Shorthorns against Le Santal. And now
I believe it's pronounced Tex-Ass.
Oh, I didn't realize that. My bad. Tex-Ass.
So, okay, so
Tex
there's some team names that get allowed. And I gotta slam FPF and Rob Campana in this one.
Why?
Triple Peeze, not allowed as a team name. The original team name was Puff Puff Pass. The reference being to marijuana, which is legal now in our province, in our country. That's not allowed, but like Tex-Ass Shorthorns are allowed.
Well, FYI, by the way, this heads
and face
up.
jazz. Stop with face jazz.
In Brossard, by the way, please do not smoke marijuana next to the garage door, for those who were.
Yeah.
Let's let those people know.
Just, was it 9 feet?
It was my bad because I went outside to get some fresh air. I was done my shift at 10:30 hour, and I won't name the two guys. They were smoking a tree on the parking lot sidewalk next to the garage door. Mm-hmm. I didn't think of it, right? Yes, it's legal, whatever, it's cool. And then I walked in, and the guy was like, "Hey, listen, man, just be careful for your guys smoking trees." I go, "Oh,
smoking trees." That's
I go bleep. I go, my
bad. Was that my dad who said smoking trees?
Yeah, I go, my bad. Sorry about that, bro. So no tree smoking nearby.
I'm sorry, Mo. I'll take it further away next time.
So you weren't even there in Brossard. So picture this: 30 to 25 with for the Shorthorns with about less than 4 minutes left in the football game. Final score 50 to 36.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild. That's absolutely wild.
We also have a few comments already in chat. First off, Matthew Keegan says, "Holla at ya, boys." And then Marc-André actually came up with his own name, so he has Hull Hogan, because he spelled it wrong, but I imagine he meant Hulk.
Nope, Hull Hogan. He's from the area close to Ottawa.
And he also says he hates the new rule for the 5-yard red zone.
Yes, it's terrible, but I understand why we have it.
Yeah, of course.
But given that we use the same playbook, I can understand why Marc-André is having trouble with that play style.
Oh my God! Look at that.
We have a visitor.
I was like, a female. What's going on over here?
Someone who never comes to games, but is here at the podcast.
That's it. We should have done like a bet. More likely to happen: showing up to the football game or showing up to a podcast.
I would have taken podcast easily.
Probably. So the Shorthorns win, and once again, Colin Sakara showing his arm, 280 yards passing. This is a fun team now. I think they're not picking it up now, Peeze, with what they're doing at 2-1. And they got size, they got the defense figured out, and they're playing better football now compared to where they were 12 months ago.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right.
Wow, that was great.
To be honest, I was distracted and wasn't paying attention.
Peasy's done, man. Let's call the show. Eagle, it's just you and I now.
I do want to just mention something. Yeah. So every week we do predictions, obviously. We've been keeping track this year, and we get the updates from Iggy Magnets and Alexis Dubois and all the different articles.
Yes.
I want to point out the fact that Moe Khan actually got 100% prediction rate for Tier 2.
That's pretty good.
But everyone bombed Tier 1 predictions.
Yeah, it was a rough week.
Bah!
So what's the overall numbers then?
Well, right now, Mo, you're still in last place, and Iggy's still in first.
But what's the percentage numbers?
You're at 58.3, and Iggy's at 69. Nice.
So even with 100% success rate, I still didn't
catch up. Yeah, because you got 44% in Tier 3, 25% in Tier 2, and you got 2/3 in co-ed.
One other thing I actually want to point out, and we'll talk a little bit about both these teams later, but Sweat and Beers beating Terror Squad 41-38. That's just the score. The amount of points is surprising more than the actual score who won. I feel like they're evenly matched teams, so it doesn't surprise me there was a close game. It doesn't surprise me that Sweat and Beers won. It wouldn't have surprised me if Terror Squad won. It's fairly evenly matched, but it's surprising that so many points were scored on these teams, given that I would have thought that the defense with the strength of both of these rosters.
Now, here's the thing about Sweat and Beers. They can easily be 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
That consequence game, they lost by a single point.
I think it's controversy. We keep screwing up the name.
Consequence.
Consequence?
Yeah.
Controversy.
Whatever. Controversy. They could have easily be 2-1.
Yeah.
And
Convenient.
How convenient.
yeah.
Well
Thanks, guys.
Well done.
Really well done. So we could be talking about this team being 2-1 in third place, than now being in fifth at 1-2. But again, this is a team that you may not want to face as you move into the next phase of games coming up in a month.
I mean, I feel like it might be one of those teams where if they're too successful, they end up in the part of the bracket where they'll
They
be
get
least
crushed.
successful. Yeah, but like they're good now. They're good where they are. I think if they stay where they are, the next round's gonna be super competitive for them.
All right, so let's talk about controversy or consequence, or what's the name again?
Consequence.
Convicts.
Convicts, exactly.
I like that one. That's next season, Dan. Get it, tacos.
So they get flushed by KGP. Dylan Garber with a huge game, and Phil Cutler's like, "Hey, don't forget to name drop Dylan Garber. He is like a modern day slot receiver,
As opposed to olden time slot receivers, like medieval slot receivers.
Exactly. New
On
age
horses.
offense. But this is a bad loss. I know you didn't have AJ Gomes playing the game, but to lose by a score of 25 points. And
So we've been saying that, right? So like since that time that we questioned, Phil Cutler, he has come back and he's lit things up. And maybe it's just over time recovering from an ACL injury. It took him a second to sort of develop into the new quarterback that he is. And he's been great. He's been awesome. And he's been very good at picking the pieces that fit his system. No one looks at tier 1 and says, Dylan Garber's going to do damage. But you know what? On KGP, he absolutely does. Guy like Jonathan Garfinkel. Well, this guy can't play high division. He's too small. Well, but in this system with all that speed, that's going to play to his advantage. And we see this in this kind of game. And we see how much Dan Lazara requires having that top-end receiver. And this is a team chock full of talent. But AJ Gomes is obviously the number one receiver in the team. Him getting suspended for that game really, really impacted this team.
So I have a comparison for Dylan Garber.
Okay.
I know the ESPNs of the world will always use like the white receiver with the white guy.
Let's go. Are we doing white guy for white guy?
No, I'm not.
Oh, Moe
I'm
Khan
not.
breaking
I'm
race barriers.
I'm breaking the mold here.
Absolutely.
AJ Brown from
AJ Brown?
Tennessee Titans. There you go.
Okay.
He's like AJ Brown, Dylan Garber.
How about we only compare him to receivers named Brown? So Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
Is that where I would go?
Eddie Brown, former Miami Hurricane great. There you go.
What I find interesting about this game, look at the stats for Cutler and
Eagle, you're not
Lazara.
playing the right
You're
game.
not playing the game.
You're not playing the
we
game
looked
now.
at you for the Brown
Yeah,
name.
you need to come up with a receiver whose name is Brown.
Yes.
Or any athlete whose name is Brown with which we can compare Dylan Garber.
Like-
ideally, if the receiver is black.
It can be Mike Brown, or Paul Brown.
Literally any guy named Brown.
Alex Brown.
That's not
That's
a person,
not-
is it?
It could be.
No.
Yeah, he's Alex Brown,
Yeah.
famed high school player from a
There
high
you go.
school.
There you go.
So looking at the stat line for both QBs, they basically had the exact same completions, attempts, and yards, but Cutler gets 2 more TDs, and Lazara turns those into interceptions
That's the
instead.
exact game. It's Phil Cutler taking advantage of the opportunities and Dan Lazara giving him the opportunities. That's all it was.
There
Alex
you go.
Brown.
There you go.
It's a person!
We have a researcher.
Yeah, former Florida Gator and played for the Chicago Bears.
Alex Brown, are you ready? Yeah, absolutely. Mo. And there's your fandom, defensive end. So what we're saying is
5 sacks against
the
Tennessee.
diminutive Dylan Garber reminds us of a former NFL defensive end. Thank you, Eagle.
Who
for that
needs
comparison.
research when you can just guess?
Exactly.
And it was a terrible guess because it's your own first name and the last name we gave you. It involved zero thought.
It became as one. and-
Zero thought.
This is how I passed university.
Exactly. And you were like an Eagle genius on top of that. So with them now winning this football game, they're undefeated still. Peeze. They got Urgent's Medic next week. The keys to this game is what in your mind?
So I like when I got the script, I said, who are you more confident to finish undefeated? KGP or Urgent Medzik? I was like, well, let me see who KGP is playing. Like, Urgent Medzik. Okay, take the note down. Who's Urgent Medzik playing? And I'm like, oh man, Peeze, you're dumb. They're playing each other. So KGP face Urgent Medzik. So the keys to the game next week, Cutler needs to watch Justice Dupuis on defense. He is sort of like a free safety floating in the middle. He does a lot of stuff that's unpredictable, and he sort of reads it like he would read it at the quarterback position, but on defense, right? It's something that has been highly successful in lower divisions has been sort of troublesome in higher divisions because of how well the quarterbacks move the ball.
Right.
But it's something that Phil Cutler may not have a lot of experience seeing. So sort of watching what Jesse Dupuis does will help him sort of attack. And if he's able to create schemes where he's forcing Jesse Dupuis to make a choice, that might prove difficult. KGP will need Sebastien Cibon in this game, however. He's only played a single game. If you pair him with the speed of Kwesi Gordon-Mall and Phil Cutler's intelligence on defense, and the speed of a guy like Jonathan Garfinkel, that becomes a matchup that becomes a lot more even because Sebastien Cibon can handle the size of a guy like Julien Bellavance and a lot of the other guys on the Urgence Midday roster.
So I'll give you two names: Julien Paiement and Gabe D'Amico.
All the rushers, by the way.
All the rushers, right? I mean, I think they will be very influential in this game here.
Who do you rush if you're rushing Jesse Dupuis?
Paiement.
I go Paiement. I agree with
but
you.
You rotate though, right? You got to find a way to get D'Amico in there because I think if you throw a different, pitch at Urgence Medic with what they have for pass rushers, it definitely changes the thought process for Dupuis and what he has to do as a quarterback. But Paiement is no question one of the best, if not the best pass rusher in the higher divisions of FPF. And if they can get to the whole Urgence Medic offense, I think they can create turnovers because, again, right now they have 4 INTs through 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be one of those games, even though the size matchup definitely favors Urgence Medic with the Old Boys being the monsters inside the middle of the football field. If they can get them to make one bad pass, and like they did against Controversy or whatever they call it, Conspiracy, you convert that for points, that would be the difference.
Contemporaries,
exactly. Yeah, that would be the biggest difference.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I think the key there is Sebastien Cibon because he changes that defense. It gives him that one extra piece and a little bit of size that they don't have when he's not there.
My question is he with Kwesi Gordon-Mall, because he's played the last 2 games, is Kwesi...
Do they fit with the two of them?
Yeah, that's what I want to figure out.
I think so, because they have a lot of low division talent, right? Like Dylan Garber doesn't have a huge...
The A.J. Brown
cap hit, the A.J. Brown. The
Alex
Brown of the league. They have Jonathan Garfinkel again, low cap hit. Gabe D'Amico has a fairly low cap hit as well. So I'm pretty sure they're good on cap. Eagle, if you would like to... I'm buying time for you to solve this for us.
Or Jerome Brown, the league.
I decided not to.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is he the one who invented Crazy Cupcakes?
The question is whether or not Kwesi Gordon-Mall invented the game that was created for Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Kwesi Cupcakes. I'm sure he's been asked that 1,000 times.
I'm sure he has never been asked that question.
It looks like we're first.
All right, can you ask that on the thread, please, Eagle, for the scorekeepers?
I
Please.
could.
Can you do it for us right now? We need an answer as soon as possible. Thank you.
The show can't conclude without that answer.
We can't. We'll keep on going.
We'll watch the
stay
Lakers
here
game
forever?
here. We'll watch the Lakers game here.
Exactly.
Nice.
Watch the NBA lottery draft. BYOB, Terror Squad, who's more likely to get their first win?
So I have a question for you when it comes to Terror Squad.
Yes.
I feel like all of your analysis for Terror Squad is 7 years old. Is that accurate?
No.
Yes.
They are...
I phrased it like a question, but I meant it as an indictment.
I know. No, I'm disappointed by them. I think...
But when was the last time they've been a truly dominant team?
Well, no. Think about
The
it.
Pat Jerome pick 1? Was that the last time?
No.
Or pick 2?
No, but Terror Squad, they've lost their last 2 games by a combined score of, I think, 10 or 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-possession game.
Yeah,
They
because they don't stop anyone.
And I'm surprised.
I also don't understand it because, again, you have Nick Arsenault-Noham, you have Pat Chenard. That should be a good defense.
Yeah, I think Jasmine Ryu as well. I mean, he's the last line of the eraser for this defense, but it's surprising that they are where they are at 0-3, and now they get a Black Braves team. Is that the right terminology? I don't know if that's
Just Brave Noir.
Brave Noir.
Let's not make it racial.
Yeah, no racial intention at all. But they get a Braves team that has a little sour taste in their mouth because of how their game was 0 dark 30 because it finished in the dark and no one knows what happened in that football game unless you watched Chris Gervais' Game of the Week. So they've been off now.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Did I spoil it, really?
No.
Oh, never mind. But now here they are, and this is a big game for Braves Noir because they want to be in that top half of that Tier 1 pool.
But I feel like every season, it's kind of like Moe Khan's take of every finest team is the worst finest team of all time. he's always surprised by how Terror Squad's not performing well, even though they haven't performed well in like half a decade.
What's the record in the last 5 years, Eagle? 5 seasons, please.
Not great. I mean,
That's great analysis, Eagle. Great analysis. I asked you a number. And
Why do
can't
you have
give
a
me-
live mic today? What's
Yeah,
going on
'cause
with
we
you,
have
man?
a new toy, the Pro FX.
Do you need a hug?
yes,
Do you need a hug?
You got a haircut though, huh?
I did.
Yeah, I see that. Nice haircut.
They do not fit on defense with their entire roster combined. That being said, Garfinkel has only played one game.
Garfinkel. We're talking about Terror Squad.
No, I'm talking about from
He's
before.
answering the previous question.
So if you remove him, they're 490.3, so they're still a little bit over.
Struggling today.
Professional broadcast right here.
Struggling.
Professional broadcast.
Today. Struggling.
No,
today.
he's a professional.
Struggling
I'm just an
today.
amateur, clearly.
Struggling. All right. Clearly, Eagle is choking on a piece of worm, I guess.
Can you be an amateur broadcaster after you've produced 1,000 podcasts?
Maybe.
Okay.
Dylan Garber has actually contributed his own name of Antonio Brown.
There we go.
How did we not think of that one?
Well, because you went Alex Brown.
Yeah.
You went defensive end.
No, Antonio Brown's not the most ideal name to have. Or Courtney Brown.
Well, I was going to say maybe in personality. He's closest to Antonio Brown.
No, I don't want to be known.
And Matthew Kudrin says Bam Bam Bigelow could be a good name.
No, not the late Bam Bam. No. I would give, you know what? I give our boy Marc Andre King Kong Bundy.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
There you go.
So
All right.
they have to be fat wrestlers, right? Like,
Of course.
like I love Marc Andre. He's a big dude, but like you know, you could have gone Rey Mysterio.
He ruined an amazing picture at your wedding.
Oh, it's so good.
To this, like, I get so like riled up by the stupid fact that he put his tongue out in a great picture. And I was like, man, this guy ruined it.
Well, but there was a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I understand, but the guy ruined the picture. I'm like, dude, we're taking a nice, corporate picture for FPF, and you put the tongue out.
Yeah.
was like, dude.
Tongues out, man. Tongues out.
All right, tier 2. Tier 2.
Well, I didn't answer your question.
yes. So, well,
So,
we just jump around.
BYOB faces Sweat and Beers. Terror Squad faces Brave Noir. So if you're asking, most likely to get their first win, it's BYOB just because they have the easier matchup. But I think either one is going to be sort of like a little bit of an underdog. At the same time, it's going to take Matt
That
Renee.
stupid picture, man. Look at him.
That's
What is
stupid.
wrong with this guy?
There we go.
Oh my.
You weren't there. You were busy getting married. To me.
Oh my God, man! This guy ruined the picture. That's a
So-
great picture.
Yes.
Matt Renee needs to get his form back from past winter. And one of the ways...
He did ruin it.
Thank you.
So can one of us do actual analysis here?
We are. We're now.
Thanks for ruining the show.
We're doing the analysis of the picture. Carry on, please.
So I think one of the keys might be at this point. I think Marc-Andre Lapointe can be sort of like that third or fourth receiver on this team, and he's been barely involved on offense, and I think he's very versatile. I'd like to see him get more involved, and I think if BYOB sort of spreads the wealth a little bit, they'll be more effective.
I think it's how mullet Lapointe has. It's ruined his game.
A mullet has never once ruined game.
It's ruined his game. Tier 2.
Never once. If Marc-Andre goes to a bar with that mullet and a mask, obviously, because responsible,
Of course.
no way he's going home alone. Never ruins game.
Tier 2. There are a boatload of 2-1 teams. Eagle will pull up the tier 2.
I got it for you, Mo.
I know, but I want
Eagle, does he have to? No, he's researching something else. I asked him about that. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got it right here, Mo.
All right,
I'll fire it
Eagle-
up. I'll give it to you, and then you tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you false kings or not. And then Eagle, you can chime in too. Why not?
Well, how about Eagle gives it to us
Nope.
and we both do
Nope.
it?
As I did the research, we're gonna use my research.
All right, here we go.
Warriors.
Well, hold on. Let's just set it up here. So we're describing who is real and who are false kings.
Yeah, real kings, false kings.
Exactly.
It's a term we made up 2 seasons ago, and I love that it
is
stuck.
Stuck.
Warriors, they're 2-1. Eagle, are they real kings or false kings?
I think they're false kings.
Because
I don't think that their roster is deep enough to carry them in this game, and that they've been blown out by some teams.
One team.
Being the half a stars, but that for me that shows me that you're not good enough to compete.
You're not at that top
high
level,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're not at the top level. So you're gonna be that middle of the pack team for the rest of the time.
Mo, real or false kings?
False kings. Foot speed.
I'm going to say false speed because, again, it's foot speed as well, but they have a plus minus of 7, and their first win was due to a mid-game forfeit, something we may not have remembered.
Yeah, week 1 against Le Gros Coq.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
important to think of there. Outlaws.
I think they're the real deal, but they're very matchup dependent. And so far, their schedule has been decent, but they've been close games. Next week they have Hot Sauce Sports. They're going to win that game for sure.
No,
And
Hot
then we'll
Sauce
see
is
what
winning by
happens.
50.
Yeah. Put up 50 points total, and then talk to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that only after everyone either watch, not only either, but we'll also watch, listen to, like, and subscribe to Hot Sauce
More
Sports.
likely to happen, Hot Sauce scoring 50 total points for the first 4 games, or Outlaw scoring 50 points in this game.
You've been listening to Hot Sauce There we go. Sports. There's the drop. Thank you.
I just like their roster. Like Andrew Grant, David DeAndre, who has not played, actually, by the way. Kevin Kusai, Marvin Steinberg, Patrick Zathon, Babalis. These are all great guys. I think
So
this is going to be a team.
I was gonna say, what's interesting is it's a different group for them, but Andrew Grant, Marvin Steinberg, and Pat Jason are a very good core, although a different core from what Stephen Harper has been used to working with. So I'm going to say Real Kings because I like the team construction, but it's kind of an odd team construction.
Andrew Grant still thinks I'm Rob Campana. I had them as Real Kings.
Okay. Bruins. Real Kings, False Kings.
I think they're the real thing.
Okay.
I'm not convinced, but I think.
I'm going to go False Kings.
Thanks for thinking.
Yeah. False Kings.
I'm with you, Moe Khan. False Kings, not because of talent. They have all of the talent it takes to be Real Kings. But again, like I said last week, their defense is predictable, and they were exposed by half a stars who were quarterbacked by Max Rosenfeld, not Andrew Langbert this week.
Yeah,
Next
Langbert
week
was
is going to
away.
be the big one because they're playing Mangoose, another speedy team. So if they can't keep up, we're going to know where they fall.
Mangoose is the next team on the list.
It's the
Expert transition, Eagle.
The usual
Real
problem with
Kings.
Mangoose is the points against, right? So they allowed 39 against Les Todd and 38 against Part of My Swag. This
then
last week
6
doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really, we know they're going to put up points. It's just a matter of whether their defense can get a stop. So far, it's been decent. What's his name? Thomas Couture has only got 1 sack, but you have 2 other guys who have combined for 6.
Well, Thomas Couture was given 2 sacks on bad snaps last night.
Yeah.
No, he only has 1.
Well, you know,
I saw 3 sacks on the score sheet.
You know,
Oh, but it wasn't him, I don't think. I think it was Félix-Antoine Lavigne or Alexandre Bordelot.
You know, score kept that game yesterday.
Jeremy White.
Sean?
The legend, Jeremy White.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's padding the stats for his buddies.
Yeah,
Just saying.
A little favoritism over there.
I'm gonna say, having played them this past week, I'm gonna say Real Kings just based on their athleticism. Levine boys are serious. Thomas Couture obviously serious. But what impressed me most is the development of Nick Schaefer. He's always had the arm strength, but now he's developed into a very intelligent FPF passer. Mo, your thoughts?
Real Kings. I saw the game yesterday as well. Boy, that was not pretty.
Well, you know what? Like, so it looks worse than it was. Like, the thing is, Hot Sauce Sports, all my fault, can't score in the red zone.
Well, you held up the pass rush from going for the touchdown.
Sorry?
You held up the pass rush.
Oh, yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Eagle. So the ball was deflected and intercepted by the rusher. I then held him, and they were freaking out, yelling at me. I'm like, yeah, it's a penalty. I don't want him to score.
No, but that's an automatic score then. Last
It's
man
not.
back rule.
It
Yeah, is.
wasn't.
No.
It wasn't considered that way.
No, it wasn't.
It should be last man back. It's clearly last man back if it's a rusher
Well, it
and
was
you
le-
and you hold
It was
him.
11:10 at night. Everyone was tired.
I mean, let's just say James Langshaw got back in time. He's very fast.
Exactly. Next game. Next team.
Next team, Tough Lungs.
Oh, the Real Kings.
Really happy to see Darren McDesian back on the roster. He took
excuse
2020
me.
off.
The Wrangler.
The Wrangler. Please call him the Wrangler.
Okay. Also, can I call him by his real name so people
Nope.
know who we're
Nope.
talking about?
We cannot.
Nope, we call him by the Wrangler.
But no, the combination of the Lerner brothers as well. I think this team's good. I'm going to go with Real Kings.
I'm going to go with Medium Kings. First ever Medium Kings.
What is Medium Kings?
Medium
Look it up
Kings
for us, please.
because, look, their top end is excellent, right?
Yeah.
But Olivia Delaris and Justin Lerner have combined for 29 of the 59 team completions and 11 of the 14 TDs. If they face a team that has 2 guys who can at least limit these 2, they're going to struggle. Therefore, Medium Kings.
We do have another one on the list because for some reason this game isn't processing. Texas Shorthorns are also 2-1. They beat Los Bandidos 32-19. They lost to Pepperoni Boys 30-19, and then they beat Les Santards this week 50-36.
Just to comment on that loss to Pep Boys, that was actually a 1-possession game until late with like 3 plays left when Pep Boys scored to make it a 2-1 lead over there.
Yeah, in that case, I'm going to go with Real Kings on them because Colin Sequeira is the real deal quarterback. He's just too good to be playing in this tier.
They're the Real Kings. I've seen them play all season long. They are definitely a much improved team from where they were last year. And John Buse, I think, is the next big receiver to look out for. I mean, physically,
Is he big?
He is big. He's about 6'4", and
Easy to look out for then because of the height.
Exactly. I mean,
Smart.
he's long. He's not a shorthorn, that's for
He's
sure.
not a short. He's a longhorn.
No, he's not.
Long and horny.
In tier 2, who is the best quarterback?
I have a list.
I know you have a list.
Colin
You
Scarra.
had nothing to do today, huh?
It's been. Well, I was
Yeah.
watching basketball.
I'm sure you were.
That's basically the same.
Miami
Gambling,
and-
watching basketball, working in the script. That's
Miami, Indiana. That's what you were watching.
all it was. Colin Scarra, as I just said, for the reasons that we talked about in this episode and previous, so I won't spend too much time on him. I like Jeremy White's specific skill set. His duck move is stupid. He has a great arm. He's intelligent. He's a good passer. He gets flustered at times when a game always comes down. So the defense has gotten better. It's not quite been as bad as it's been for his teams. But the thing is, when his defense isn't making stops, you see him get flustered at times.
He's
so that's
flustered.
the one drawback. What was
That
this?
was classic.
He's flustered.
He's flustered. Absolutely.
That was in reference to Theo Ojea, a Div 1 player, in reference to Della Zara.
And now it also applies to Jeremy White.
So I have
He's
three
flustered.
quarterbacks I'm going to put in the same tier of guys who are devastating with a lead.
Yeah.
Joe Cano, Andrew Langbert, Stephen Harpersad. If they get a 2-score lead, you're not coming back from to win the game. You're just not.
Well, I think Cano's had some, Kano. the
Nope.
mortal-
Joe Cano.
Oh, we're going
Not
Joe Cano.
changing.
We're not joining. Okay,
This
so
show is not about learning, Mo.
it's all about being stiff in our decision making.
Absolutely.
It's weird because his numbers are good,
Mhm.
14 TDs, 2 INTs, but his passing completion is not where
But
he.
it's not his game. He's a guy who's going to throw the ball downfield and let his boys make plays.
But
for him.
he coming off the field yesterday, he's like, man, I'm playing like bleep, and he goes, this is a carryover from my last game to this game, so he's not happy with how his personal game is going so far this year, and look, the competition will get tougher. Can he
Mhm.
improve on that pass completion to prolong
So
drives
again,
and not go
I
for long
think
ball? all
I
the
think
time?
again, if he ends up in a game where he starts off strong, they'll win. Or if they end up in a game where they're better athletes and they get a good lead, they get a stop early, he's gonna do well. If he needs to play from behind, he's gonna force balls and he's gonna make mistakes. Same with Stephen Harpersad. We saw it in the finals. Same thing with Andrew Langbert, where Andrew Langbert is more just he has limitations. He's not a guy who's great at stretching the field, and that's sometimes what you need to do in games that get out of control, and that's where he will struggle. One guy I want to point out is the guy we just talked about, Nick Schaefer.
Yeah.
The first time I played against him, he had just a very predictable offense. He didn't like throwing over the middle of the field, very tackle oriented, like throwing to sidelines, 10 outs, corners, throws that are sort of tackle safe in a sense.
Right.
But just you have such a small field, it takes almost a perfect throw sometimes to get when defenses know that's coming. It takes a perfect throw. He's put himself in positions where he doesn't have to. He uses his athleticism. He buys time. I'm very impressed with Nick Schaefer. To me, he's a guy who we might see playing in upper divisions very soon.
Yeah, there's a few quarterbacks in this core group that I think will be playing if and when the winter season does come around, that they will be a higher division quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy called Sakara. Funny enough, he has 22 more attempts, or at least than the bulk of quarterbacks in this division. But it's a fun and gun offense, man. You just want to rocket that ball down the field and just catch touchdowns at any given moment here. But the guy that I really like in this whole process that we're going to talk about now and their team, because we spoke about it a little bit last week, it's his time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy,
Mm-hmm.
the man who loves the Hawaiian shirts,
Brad Evans.
Brad Evans.
Yeah.
2 huge games coming up for his team this weekend, and on the same night on next Wednesday at CND. They will face Half a Stars and Pepperoni Boys, the 2 best teams in this Tier 2 side.
I love Hawaii as much as any other person. It's a beautiful place. Pineapples are great. Spam is delicious, and those shirts are divine. That said, I think it's a rough go for Brad Evans. They're the underdogs in both of these games. They probably have a better chance against Pepperoni Boys just because of the way Andrew Langbert's defense undercuts and shoots gaps, which is something that Brad Evans has traditionally struggled with.
Right.
But then against Pepperoni Boys, they don't have the size advantage that they have against Half a Star. So I think neither one really works out to his favor, and it's going to take the defense to give him a couple of extra opportunities. It's going to take turnovers for them to win
So
either game.
let's say hypothetically they sweep the 2 games.
Mm-hmm. They won't.
I don't think they will.
Correct.
I think they have a chance in one of the two games. I think that will be against half stars. I think their size and athleticism can match
You're
up.
saying that they have a chance against the best team in the division, the runaway best team.
Yeah,
in the
I think
division.
they do. I think they do have a chance against them. I think they match up and watch them play at CND 2 weeks prior. And even our boy Magneto agreed that they're fun to watch. They have the size. They love those jump ball scenarios, and they're athletic. That they cover every blade on the turf that they play on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at this team now, if they were to perhaps win both games, which would be very tough, I don't think they will. They go 4-0. Would you still pick them to be better than?
They're
Pep
1-1 currently.
They're 1-1. Oh yeah, 1-1. I beg your pardon.
So they'd be 3-1.
3-1. I beg your pardon. If they were to win these two games, would you believe that they are the best team over Pep Boys and half stars, or do you still pick those?
Depends
two
on how the
teams?
game goes. I mean,
Let's say they were one is a blowout and one is a one-score final.
sure. Then they're in that class. The thing I would say, Mo, is what's this Brad Evans line look like for them to win either of these games?
What do you have for point spread?
Let's go with 11.5.
So they're playing half stars. You have half stars favored by 11.5
Yep.
points. Oof. I think it's going to be less. I think they're going to win.
I think it could be less, but I could definitely see a scenario where it's much worse. You know what I mean? Like I think that I can see both things happening, but I think Brad Evans is going to have to score, 5 touchdowns, throw no interceptions, and the defense really has to create problems and get at least a turnover on Andrew Langbird. And I think he's gonna have to do that 2 games in a row.
I just wonder how much energy they'll have for the second game.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is playing them both in the same
Back
night.
to back, literally back to back windows of games. It's going to be fun, though. I think PMS has a great chance. If they break even, that's fine. But if they can go 2-0, it brings up a real conundrum of what it could look like for the next round of games.
Conundrum.
Conundrum, that's right. Tier 3, Eagle.
Yes.
I was waiting for you to get these viewers to see the standings, please.
And what is your topic, Mo?
I was going to set it up right now.
Great.
Eagle, man, he's having a terrible game today, huh?
Yeah, he's off.
He's off.
He's James
Like,
Harden today.
He was off on Monday. Like he had a surefire pick in
Oh,
the end
man.
zone. He looked like Charles Woodson and dropped into coverage. Had the inside hip pocket, and he went up to catch the ball and it dropped out of his hands.
I called cover 2, the corner in the right slot dropping. I saw my guy, I'm playing in the slot, run just a straight up fade, and I'm like, I'm going to get this. I'm just chasing it the entire way, literally right in my chest and on the floor.
And I look at
That's the
him,
worst.
and I said at the same time in my head, "Oh, he's going to get this. He's going to. Oh, he dropped it."
Yeah. I
So
ran
the
it the
strength of
entire
Eagles'
way
game
and
is not
right
his
in the
hands.
ground.
But then he also got exposed on a deep out route for a touchdown. Yeah, it wasn't a good. It has not been a good week for Eagle.
No, but win for lockdown though.
Got a new board, though.
A new board.
We have
Absolutely.
a new board. Okay, so we have 8 teams that are 2 or 1 or better. So we'll continue on with our theme of true kings or false kings.
First one's Bud Knights.
Oh, we're not gonna do your favorite team,
What am I missing?
the originator of the false kings nickname,
Which one?
Honey
Speak-
Martin.
Honey Martin. Fun fact. It's
But
Honey
they're
Martin.
3-0.
They're 3-0. Yeah, we're starting 3-0 and going all the way down the
Yeah.
list.
Oh, it's
Two,
a,
two,
oh,
one
2
or
or
better.
better.
Yeah, better. Yeah.
So, fun fact, if you look at their schedule, so far they've played teams that are 0-3, 0-3, and 1-2. Those are the ones that they've played.
So, but fair. That said, there are 2 teams dodging divisions, 2 teams playing beneath their level. One of them is Honey Martin.
Yeah, there.
The other one's Lockdown.
Thank you.
Both of y'all are cowards. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Lockdown has also played teams that are 0-3, 0-3, and 0-3.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. So
And won a game by
But we got
forfeit.
Triple P next week, which are 3-0, so that's going to be a fun one.
where's that game at?
Laval.
Oh, Street Laval.
We can't watch it, Mo. No fans.
I can
Yeah.
watch it. I can
I
watch
can't
it.
watch
He's going to watch me drop another pick.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Honey Martin, true kings or false kings?
it. Honey Martin.
You can say it's
Well,
false
again,
kings.
so can I go BS Kings?
Whatever your heart desires, Peeze.
Yeah, I go BS Kings because they're true kings in this division, but they shouldn't be in this division. Iggy Magnus, you know what you've done. I'm looking at you.
Like honestly, do you think your team can beat
Yes.
Honey Martin?
Absolutely.
Eagle.
our team would wreck this division, but
No.
not even close.
Like you don't think Honey Martin?
The problem with Peace's team is him, not his team.
Eagle, how did it go last time? How did it go last time? Lockdown faced a weaker version of Hot Sauce Sports.
Yeah, I agree. My team was also shit then.
Okay, I have.
I
Them
think it's the same team
It was a
playing,
shit bowl. It was
playing
the
in the
toilet
lower
bowl.
division.
I have them as True Kings.
Yes, obviously.
I have them as True Kings.
Obviously.
But for you, they're False Kings, though.
They're not false kings. They're BS kings.
So
Because
they're,
they shouldn't be in this division.
so they're division dodging again.
Yeah.
Oh man, Magneto's gonna give me like an earful.
Whatever, man. Bellinelli and Buccaneer are too good to be thrown in this division.
Buccaneer, by the way, had that '80s wrestling look back in the day.
What's his 80s wrestling name?
Oh
Buccaneer.
That's pretty good.
yeah. All right, next team, please. Lockdown.
Lockdown 3-0.
BS Kings.
False Kings.
BS Kings.
Major False Kings.
Not false kings. They have the best quarterback in the division. Maybe Bellinelli's better.
No, he's due for a bad game. He's gonna like choke that. Like they're gonna be like Eagles is gonna be in that final turn to win himself an FPF like trophy for the first time in his life. And
Well, they'll
then-
lose to Honey Martin. So there's that.
Then Buccaneers gonna choke that game away, and Eagles gonna be trophyless.
That's fine.
Okay, you
I mean, look,
P.
I like Triple P.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with True Kings. Eagle, what's their schedule been?
Also not very strong. They have played, if I get this up right now.
So you're saying is the algorithm is weak this season?
No,
The
it's just
algorithm
it's
does
some people
not-
got easy games and some people got bad games. So they played Bada Bing in week 1, 14-8. They played Replacements week 2, 27-6, and they played Zone 6 Ballers week 3, 48-13.
Yeah, but let's just clarify one thing, and we'll talk about Zone 6 in 2 seconds here. They could have easily put up 60 on Zone 6 balls.
Oh, yeah.
If the game started on time with players playing at the right time.
It's a this is a bad matchup for Lockdown this week. Kevin Donnett and Endel Thomas Gordon are absolute monsters. I don't even know who Mark Fairley is, but the dude's playing well. 104 quarterback rating after 3 games is no joke. Doesn't matter who you play. It's easy to lose focus when you're playing against teams that are beneath your level of competition. I do want to see the completion rate come up a little bit, but that's bound to happen against Lockdown's predictable defense.
Well, I've seen them play, and the quarterback definitely throws a nice football. He's figured out the game a little bit. It took him maybe a half or two to understand the angles of what he was going up against, but Fairley has definitely done better of late. Again, like Zone 6 balls is not really the testament of defenses out there in Tier 3. But there's no doubt in my mind from top to bottom, this is a well-built team by probably one of the more underrated GMs in Andel Thomas Gordon in that level of football. And like he's won a championship when his team got relegated, right? And so this is a really good team. And Eagle, I'm sorry, man, but you might be looking at a 3-1 record going into the next round. Like you might as well not show up on Monday.
Yeah, it's a loss.
No, I'm going to show up. Why wouldn't I show up? I paid for the game. I don't want to pay a fine.
You can just take it back.
No. That's not how this works, Mo.
That's not how that works.
All right, next team, please.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls 3-0.
Absolute real kings. I like them a lot.
Oh man, they've been giving me a lot of lip.
So we talked a lot about them last week, so I don't want to spend too much time on it
No.
because we have a lot of teams to go through, and we covered them heavily last week. But I'm going to say real kings. Mo,
So they were chirping at me because they go, "Hey, you picked against us." I go, "Guys, if I picked against you, that means I'm really picking for you. If I pick for you, you guys are gonna lose."
Oh, so
And-
your
and
bad prediction percentage is a good thing.
So
Yeah, exactly.
so they were actually like, yeah, pick against us. We win more games. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll pick for you guys this week. So, like Real Kings, they have definitely proven yours truly wrong. And they have an easy one against Lionhearts, who are 0-4 right now. So this can be a 4-0 start, and that means we're talking about a team that could be watched out in the next round of games.
Bud Knights, our next team, 2-1. They're only lost to Les Nains Joannais.
Real Kings.
again, real kings for the reasons we outlined earlier in the show. I like Marc-Andre Delaney's approach with this roster.
Yep.
I think that's going to serve to help this team even when Keljan comes back as a full-time quarterback.
I do like this team a lot. They have a bit of swagger to them that they're not going to back away from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And they are definitely a much more relaxed team. Marc-Andre looks better as a quarterback now than where he was. I always found him that he would have his great games and then he had those anti games. And
He had one early in the season.
he did, but now I think once he's in rhythm, and I think he's such a rhythm guy that if he gets like 3-4 in a row, he is much more at ease. Like he's not putting pressure on himself to have 2 completions in a row. He knows he's locked in, ready to go. So the real Kings.
Next team, Les Neigeois, also 2-1. Their loss came in week 1 to Toon Squad. They played Bud Knights and Goon Squad in their next 2-1, reasonably decisively.
I want to go False Kings, but it's tough because their win against Bud Knights is a serious one. So I got to go Real Kings just based on resume.
I'm going to go Real Kings on this one. Saw the game against Goon Squad on Tuesday night. Nothing of any competition from Goon Squad, who are nowhere near them. And this was a relatively easy peasy game for them, no pun intended.
All right, next team, Toon Squad, also 2-1. Their loss came to Mean Girls, 37-19. They've played Les Neigeois and Bada Bing as their other games.
I'm going to say False Kings. They got a win week 1 against Les Neigeois, just trying to figure things out. Bada Bing struggled all season long. And then their chance to prove they were true Kings, they lose to Mean Girls in a really, really lopsided game. Gardner Ross has looked good to start, and then this past week, the team just didn't seem to be cohesive. He didn't have a great game, and we saw how bad this team can look.
Who's your next game against? I have them as Real Kings, by the way.
Zone 6 Ballers.
Okay, they're going to win that game.
But it's not going to give us any information.
I know. I saw a bit of the game on Tuesday in Brossard. It was close, but what happened was the inexperience of the Toon Squad at this level of FPF definitely was exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they got caught. And Peeze looks a little bit worried. What's going on? Is there like?
No, sorry, it's good. I'm trying to take inventory of my things.
Okay, very well.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. There's a step up when coming into FPF from FPF Junior. The game's a little bit more physical, and I think if they face a team like Lockdown, if they face a team like Honey Martin, they're gonna really struggle.
Yeah. All right, next team, please.
And last team, Le Speak Easy. They have lost one game this past week to Ball in 60s, where they lost 39-24.
False Kings, man. You can't lose the Ball in 60s. Ball in 60s have been terrible this year, and you lose to these guys.
Unless
Kings.
maybe they're suddenly good? Question mark.
That said, I'm a fan of Matsuume. I think he's a very good quarterback, especially at this level. And we're seeing his connection with Vincent Richard and Felix Richard being absolutely key. But to your point, Mo, that's a bad loss. And they got by Southside Speedsters by 2 points. They beat Trap Size by a single point. The resume is not all too impressive.
Nope.
So kind of a gritty team, but kind of false.
Okay, words of advice for Zone 6 ballers.
First thing, show up to player games.
But it's annoying though, Peasy.
Yeah.
It's really bad, man. These guys had 2 guys at Laval. Well, guys, you can't have 3 of them chilling outside. We have a show to run here, and you guys are late.
Yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because it's not their first season. This is their 3rd season.
More than that, actually.
They were their first.
Can you give me a number? Instead of staring at me blankly, Eagle.
They were their first year at Saint Laurent, which was what 2018. 2018 was their first year in Saint Laurent. Or
Yeah,
so
fall
they
season.
played spring 18, winter
Yeah.
19, winter 20, and now fall 20.
So 4 seasons.
4 seasons. Under that name, maybe there was another name as part of the
No,
group.
I
but
think
that's
James
essentially-
Lee's
do
always
they
had his
have
team.
more forfeits than wins in their career?
Possible. I mean, unlikely though. James Lee has 11 wins in his career,
Oh,
so they
never
definitely don't have 11 forfeits.
Never mind.
So.
Never mind.
They're close.
So your words of wisdom for these guys here.
Show up. Jinsley Valbernard is an excellent dude, really nice guy, and a fantastic athlete. But he can't get better if you don't play games, if you don't play consistently. The only way to improve is to play, and over time you will improve. That's the other. And the other thing I noticed is Matthew Valente can't be the only option. They haven't had roster consistency. They've had guys show up late. To your point, they've had to forfeit games. When they are on the field, you can't be a 2-man show. It can't be James Lee's legs and Valente's hands. You need to find a playbook that works for your skill set and for the team you have.
Are you buying any of the 1 and 2 teams? Is there a hope for any of these 1 and 2 teams that you say? You
Trap
know what?
Stars. I'm always gonna back my boy Ryan Garber. I love that kid. And Southside Speedsters have a lot of talent. Ben Reed needs to shake off the rust. And a guy that we're going to start hearing about more and more in FPF is Nicolas Emmanuel Pierre. He's a very good receiver.
He's been there for a few years. He played for the Rednecks.
Yeah, he's not a guy we talk about. I mean, it's our own doing, right? When we say guys are over or underrated, it's our own fault because we're the media.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that's been underrated, and it's entirely our fault.
So co-ed, Les Sect, the team that had a rough outing on Wednesday night at CND where they were outclassed by Kiss My End Zone and by Yin and Yang. I know we spoke about them last week, but they're going through a rough time right now. So what can we give them as words of advice for them to perhaps take that next step?
They're a new FPF team. FPF at any level is not like a lot of other leagues. A lot of other leagues, even as hard as they try to recruit FPF talent, it's hard to get FPF talent. We have a lot of very, very skilled players. It's not a beer league, right? So it's tough for someone to come in. So Alison Francillon, she needs to develop a playbook that works better for her style. She hasn't completed double-digit passes in the last 3 games. That's not a recipe for success. And Lauriette is actually a very, very good player. She works very well in space. They need to rely on her more heavily, especially, maybe not in the red zone, but as they get closer into the offensive territory, that's where you can really use her, and she can take advantage of some of her mismatches.
All right, the top 3 quarterbacks in this division.
The first 2 are going to be fairly easy to see just based on stats, but having some experience playing against them. I have some insight as well. Josh Vasquez is a fantastic athlete, and I think he's finally playing at the level that his athleticism dictates. Seth Galina is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. You can't tell that by looking at his constantly sardonic expression, but he's a really, really, really bright dude. And he's not a guy with the greatest physical skill set, but he understands that. He understands how to best use the talent around him in that case. And finally, a name that it's not going to really, because she missed the game, it's going to be tough to see her because she's not really at the top of the list of any of the stats. But Marie-Ève Girard, the 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is not a great ratio, but 31 to 48, 293 yards. And despite that ratio, she still has almost a 95 quarterback rating. So I think Marie-Ève, with a little bit more time, is going to be really a quarterback to contend within this league.
I have her as my number 2.
Okay, nice.
I have Seth Galina as my number 1. And Galina proved it to me on Monday when they played Marie-Ève Girard's team where they were down by 2 scores at halftime, and then they ran away in the second half. I think Galina is really this is a perfect division for him. The symmetry, the ability to mix and match with his receiving core that he has. I mean, Jimmy Ojea has been a guy that he's relied upon for many years. Dylan Taylor's also a good source to lean on as well.
I love that you threw in symmetry which meant nothing, but it bought you time to get to analysis.
Exactly.
So pro radio move, Mo.
Exactly.
I really like that.
But
I really like that.
He definitely is the best quarterback. I think Girard is the second best quarterback.
I'm really impressed with her.
She's really good, and she has this confidence about her that oozes on the field, where it kind of spreads to her teammates, where they don't have that, oh my God, we're down, we're not. Yeah. She keeps this team going. Her energy is really felt on and off the football field.
And Semi Karkan is a great name.
It's a great name.
Love it.
Huge name. Made me hungry. And I got Josh Vasquez as my 3rd.
So the same 3 people.
Yeah, but
you couldn't have just thrown a wrench in there, gone Gino.
I think Gino.
You just didn't want to go Gino.
No.
I thought you would, so I didn't include him.
No, but I think Gino.
Do you think he's actually been playing well though?
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
It's been a while since I always go back to when I saw him intercepted by Chapman, and that was the downfall of Gino.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That's when it was downhill.
Speaking of downfall, Kiss My End Zone, are they the villains of this division? Because
so I want to know why you said that, because to me, like the obvious villains are yin and yang. It's Gino. It's Matt Peacock. Probably the best female player in Emma Racine. Ryan Dobbs Garnett never shuts up for 5 seconds. To me, they're the obvious villains. So I'm curious why you think.
Because
that they're the villains.
They talk a lot, not amongst each other.
More than yin and yang.
Have you looked at the roster of who is?
Yes,
it is a team full of talented talkers. Jamil Springer, Jalen Grease being 1 and 2.
Fair.
And they gave Les Sect a history lesson of who they are, and they were not happy about that. Les Sect.
So I mean, If you're that important, do you really got to tell people who you are?
Can we just see the scoreboards of games that they played? They teams who played against them so far, I feel like they're trying to run up the score the last couple games here.
Yeah.
Trying to run up the score.
I mean, that's okay, though. Sportsmanship is for children's sports.
But
this is an adult league.
I can't wait for that game. Tigers against Kiss My End Zone.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a huge one.
It's 0-0, though.
It's 0-0. Yeah, it's August 26th.
Well,
right.
we already started the clock. 0-0.
Exactly. All right, it is now time for...
Games of the week. All right, let's start with Tier 1.
Yes.
We're going to have BYOB versus Sweat and Beers.
Sweat and Beers.
I'm going to go BYOB in the upset.
All right. Game 2, Consequent, Controversy, Condom versus Brave Verd.
I'm going to go Condom.
I'm going to go...
Dan, we got you some great names for next season.
I'm going Braver on this one.
All right. Game 3, KGP versus Urgence Medique. Probably the game of the week.
Yeah.
Not actually game of the week. Vote on Facebook, by the way.
Urgence Medic I'm going with.
I'm going to agree with Moe on Urgence Medique.
All right. And game number 4, Brave Noir versus Terror Squad.
Brave Noir because they're not as good as Moe thinks they are. Terror Squad's not as good as Moe
I'm
thinks they
going
are.
Brave Noir in this one.
All right. Let's go Tier 2.
I so wanted you to pick them.
Don't worry about that. Next.
So Tier 2 for this week, we're going to start off with Tex Ass Shorthorns versus Les Gros Coq.
I like that it's
Joke
short
writes
horns
itself.
against Cook.
It's a great two names.
Yeah.
I think, put in the poll. Is this the greatest two names we've had for a
We've had
matchup?
some good ones, but this is
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
there.
good.
Probably top 5.
Give me Texas.
Yeah.
Tough Lungs versus Warriors. That should be a good game.
Yeah.
This is a battle of Val, no? Is this like a battle like regional rivalries here?
I don't know where people live.
Give me the lungs.
Lungs as well.
Los Banditos versus Unknown Talent.
LB.
LB, yeah.
Voodoo versus Easy W.
I think this one's an easy W.
Yeah.
Pardon My Swag versus Half a Stars.
Half stars.
Oh, all that shit you
All
talk.
that talk, boys.
Half a stars.
Trojans versus Les Centaurs.
Trojans have been playing tough, but Santar has been up to the challenge. Give me the LC.
Team we haven't talked about, by the way, Les Centaurs. We'll get
Yeah,
to
we'll get to
more
them next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this game next week, but I'll go with Trojans to win this.
Pardon My Swag in a doubleheader. Yep. Versus Pepperoni Boys.
Pep boys.
As much as I think pepperoni belongs in a pizza more than pineapple, I'm going pepperoni.
Outlaws versus Hot Sauce Sports.
Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Outlaws.
Okay, wait. Here's an actual bet. Do you think Hot Sauce Sports, after their 4 games, will have more than 50 points for?
What are we at? We're not close.
36.
No, you're not close.
You got 36, no?
Is he even at
I
36?
think that's 36
I don't
points.
think he is.
I'll take the bet then. I'll
Points
take the
for,
bet.
I think
What are we
that's
betting?
I don't know.
They're
I just go 14
Pitcher or
points.
2?
Yeah,
They're,
sure.
they're 36 points, no? Are they?
You guys can't even go to
They're we'll figure it out. You're at 36 points for.
So,
I think so. I think they're going to hit 50.
Mo, if
I had them hitting 50.
if we get to 50, you buy me a pitcher of beer. If
I'm picking you guys to hit 50, though. I'm
Oh, you're
picking
picking-
against-
oh.
Yeah.
I'm picking against you.
okay, so you get a pitcher of beer from Mo. If you don't, he gets a pitcher of almond milk. That sounds disgusting.
There you go.
That
That's
sounds
fine with me.
disgusting.
There you go.
You like the unsweetened vanilla? Is that the one?
Yeah.
All right.
Or chocolate.
It should be like 12.
No, we're not doing that again.
No.
No, we're not doing that. No. We had
The
the
hot dog contest
Hot
where
dog
you
contest.
put no water and no condiments.
You guys screwed me over on that, by the way.
No, you
got
did
you
it to
beef.
yourself.
How did I do that to
I
myself?
got you beef.
No, but you guys didn't give me condiments with it.
BYOC.
Yes, we did. You didn't put any on there.
BYOC.
Yes, we did.
Vince Nardone, call Vince Nardone, please. We had no condiments. I had it plain. It was the worst thing possible.
BYOC. I don't know what you like in your
All right.
dogs.
So, Mo, you're
Mustard.
actually picking hot sauce versus outlaws, or?
I'm picking Outlaws to win, but they'll hit 50 points.
All right. And last game of Tier 2, Mangoose versus Bruins.
Mangoose.
Mangoose.
All right. Tier 3. Let's go for the last games this week. Rainmakers versus Bada Bing.
Make it rain.
I'm going to go Rainmakers, yeah.
Replacements versus Honey Martin.
Honey Martin.
Triple
by a
P
lot.
versus
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Triple P.
and
Oh,
Honey
really?
Honey
Yeah.
Martin and Triple P for me.
You're getting exposed, Eagle.
All right.
Being the BS Kings.
By the way, it's the 10:30 game. We'll be finishing by like 11:10, 11:15.
All right. Ballin' 60s versus Southside Speedsters.
Triple S.
Yeah.
Les Nains Joannais versus Trap Stars.
Don't know how to say the first name, so Trap Stars.
L&J.
I could have done that too. God damn it.
Mean Girls Lionhearts.
Mean Girls.
I mean girls.
Le Speak Easy Bud Knights.
The Win Easy by Bun Knights.
Yeah, but Knight's going to do it for me.
Goon Squad Goblin Gang.
Goons.
Goblin Gang.
Yeah, Goblin Gang. Oof.
And Zone 6 Ballers, Toon Squad.
Tune it up.
Give me the Toon Squad, please.
And do we have any games left in co-ed? Yes, we got
Yeah.
2. Les Semi-Croquants versus Yin and Yang.
Semi-croquant. It's
Yeah.
a semi-croquant kind of life.
That's gonna be a good game.
And the last game currently at 0-0.
Time
We
out.
already know this game. It's 108-0 in the final
Yeah.
score, but let's pick it anyways. Fighting Tigers versus Kiss My End Zone.
Give me the Tigers.
Give me Kiss My End Zone.
Ooh.
Tigers. Okay, so we're through 3 weeks, and we have 1 more week to go. So, Eagle, what's the plan now, quickly here for the 4th week to be done? What is the schedule lineup looking like?
So, good question. We're going to finish week 4, obviously. We're going to then divide the teams, depending on which tier you're in, into the upper tier and the lower tier of your group. And then we're going to remake a schedule and publish that, and then it'll be available on the site like normal. We'll also next week bring on Iggy Magnets and Alexis Dubois as special guests. We'll do a quick little breakdown of the results after the preliminary round and our expectations for the next week. I'm setting up your show, Mo, so make sure you write that script.
I am. And don't forget, Labor Day Monday, no games.
That is correct. No games on Labor Day Monday.
Exactly. All right, match words, please.
Cincinnati Reds? Seriously?
Good night, Brendan Gallagher.
How'd you knock on Tom Brennan? I set it up for you. There's an alley, but there's no hoop.
Oh.
You're a bad teammate. Get your Justin Bieber ass hair out of here.
No wonder you got cut from the finest.